Hey everybody, welcome to update number 8 for the Love's EV Charging Network. Today is December 29th, 2025, so we're here at the end of the year. I hope all of you that celebrate had a wonderful Christmas with your family and friends and are looking forward to a great end to 2025. Let's take real quick a recap of 2025 for the Love's Network. And first, let's start off with what was planned for this year based on the press release that was issued towards the back end of 2024. So Love's planned to have all of their charging sites with canopies, trash cans, and windshield cleaning stations, the amenities you would expect at one of these kind of locations at a truck stop. They'd hoped to have construction start in 13 new states in 2025. And they anticipated that all new Love's locations would have EV chargers. So the reality in 2025 is some better and some worse than what they planned. The sites that they have installed do consistently have canopies, trash cans, and windshield cleaning stations, which is great. Many of you that have driven EVs for a while know when you stop at a Tesla supercharger or a CCS station like EA, where there's no canopies and it's raining and there's nowhere to throw your trash away, that's a real frustration. So I love to see that stuff at any EV charging site. One thing that we didn't really know about, but it's been good to see, is that the earliest locations have something called the OmniPort, which is a combination CCS and NACS port on the chargers. Basically, this is the reverse of the Tesla Magic Dock, if you're familiar with that. So you have CCS by default, but you can lock the NACS adapter onto the CCS cable and charge natively with NACS, natively in quotes. They actually only started construction in 4 states this year. Those were Alabama, Colorado, Kentucky, and Texas. And so this is a vast reduction in what was expected early in the year. And that's really because the NEVI program had a big pause in the early part of the year with the incoming administration. And that program was really in limbo for 7 to 8 months until new FHWA guidance was released in late summer, early fall of this year. So that program is restarting. So a lot of the sites that had received funding are just now starting to get that, or states are redoing their RFP cycle, or they're issuing new RFPs, and that all takes time, of course. So that's a lot of that is in progress now, and I'm expecting a lot more NEVI activity in 2026, maybe substantially more, and we'll come to that in a minute. At least 11 new locations, new Love's locations, have been advertised as EV ready, but none of them have had chargers installed at the time of opening. There is one site in Arizona that's opened recently that is expecting to have chargers in the next 6 months, but it was already a NEVI designated site. I'm really hopeful that either Love's or some third-party provider, CPO, will decide to come to those new sites, but we'll see. They basically indicate that those sites have space for EV charging. I don't know exactly what that means. There's not a lot of specifics about that, but we'll see. Also in 2025, either while the battle about NEVI was ongoing or since the restart of NEVI, at least 4 states have issued new awards that include Love's. Those are Illinois, which had a substantial number, Michigan, Minnesota, and Georgia. Okay, so let's talk about what happens in 26. So I've got a couple of categories here. One is based on what we currently know and can make reasonable assumptions about. So 17 states have active NEVI awards. So many of those are likely to go to construction in 2026 as those funds are released, particularly in the early award states. My personal guess, this may be a little ambitious, but there's definitely enough out there, is that 50 stations will open or at least start construction by the end of 2026. You can expect Love's to continue to heavily pursue additional NEVI funding opportunities in all the states. Again, there are RFPs out now, and there will be many more in early 2026 for the states that are just now restarting their version of NEVI. I predict that ChargePoint will continue to be the dominant CPO, but Love's has proven that they're somewhat CPO agnostic, so expect other providers to be involved, which we have already seen a bit. Sites will continue to be covered, well lit, and stocked with amenities like trash cans and windshield washing equipment. They have shown a dedication to doing this in 25, and I don't see why they would stop now. All right, now for some pure speculation. I think that Electric Era will open additional stations at Love's with Nevy Awards, particularly out in the West where they have a strong presence. I believe that company is based out of either California, Oregon, or Washington, somewhere over there on the West Coast. So I think there's a pretty solid shot that we'll see at least a couple of more Electric Era stations, maybe many more than that. And here is one that I think has a really low chance of happening, but I'd love to see it. Maybe at some of these EV ready sites, Ayana will team up with Love's to install one of their stations. My only real concern about this one is that even though Love says they've left space for chargers, I don't know how much there is. I don't think it's. I've personally been to one of these sites in Alabama, and there's not a huge amount of extra space, and at least in the passenger car parking area. And Ayana tends to like to install 10 plus stall charging locations. I'm sure they could do smaller ones, but that's kind of been the way they've gone thus far. All right, kind of getting to the changes since our last update into the regular updates for the video. We have new live sites in Buena Vista, Colorado. That's the Electric Era site. It came online just after I did the last update. You can see it there on the top left in green, kind of in the central portion of Colorado. Encinal, Texas and Natalia, Texas have also come online very recently. Those are the two leftmost green locations in southern Texas. We have Eads, Colorado under construction. That's been confirmed on PlugShare. Then we have Three Rivers, Texas. That is unconfirmed. It's really just shown up on a Texas Nevy update spreadsheet. And Van, Texas, also unconfirmed for the same reason. One other site that is coming soon per Love's website is Horse Cave, Kentucky, which was one of the pretty early Nevy Awards. And Kentucky has been building out their stations, as we mentioned earlier. Okay, new Nevy Awards. I went over the ones from Illinois in the last update, so you can check out update number 7 if you want to see those. But since that time, we've had a few more here in Georgia. We've had a new, I think they're round 1A or round 2 of awards. Those locations are in West Point, Georgia, which is that one right at the Alabama border, Ellabelle, Georgia, and Thompson, Georgia. One of these is just west of Savannah there on I-16. That is a corridor that is devoid of a lot of charging infrastructure. There's not that many towns along that route anyway, but if any of you ever go over to Savannah from the Atlanta area or over to Hilton Head, you know that charging is desperately needed on I-16, so that is a welcome addition. A quick interruption to the video here. I forgot to mention that I still have my live Google Maps site available for you to look at. I'll put a link in the description below, but you can see here these are marked awarded, open, EV ready, planned. I do still have a canceled section in here that I may eventually take off, but there were all the sites in Alabama and one in Texas that were canceled after the original Nevy Awards. I'm just showing them here for historical purposes, but may remove them eventually. And then lastly, in construction. So if you want to browse this in a more interactive manner rather than just looking at the video, by all means, head to that link in the description below and you can check that out. Just a few random statistics for you guys. Currently, there are 39 open sites. That includes all CPOs, the early ones with the lower power chargers. So just anything, any Loves that's got charging infrastructure. By my count, there are 39. There are 81 currently awarded sites, which is a good batch, and 3 under construction. Currently, the states with the greatest number of sites are Oklahoma, thanks to some of those early build-outs from the, I believe they're Francis Chargers, Francis Energy, Illinois, and Colorado. And interstates with the greatest number of sites for all statuses. So this includes under construction, already open, awarded sites. The ones where we have locations most heavily focused are I-40, which seems to be a popular corridor on the Pilot Flying J build out as well, I-10, and I-35. All right, and then here are your data tables. So this is open sites. This includes, of course, y'all forgive me here. I think I need to cut my video off. Let me do that real quick. Yeah, this includes all open sites, including all CPOs. I'll let you look at this for a second before I advance. All right, here we have awarded sites. You guys can pause on any of these as you need. All right, and then lastly, I believe we have EV and planned sites, EV ready and planned sites. There's a batch of planned sites in Texas that have not had NEVI awards yet, but were listed in one of their planning documents. All right, and then I'm going to turn my mic off here, but here we got coming up some pictures of the open sites if you're interested in those, and a little bit about what infrastructure is present at both. As you can see here, I don't have a picture for Encinal, Texas, so if one of y'all lives near there and wants to put a picture either on PlugShare or send me a link directly to it in the comments, I'd appreciate it. Again, I hope y'all have a great end to the year, and thanks for watching.